CDL Practice Test, Illinois, General Knowledge, Part 5. Question number 102. Which of these statements is true about medicines used to treat the common cold? A. They should only be used when driving during the daytime. B. They often make you sleepy, therefore, they should not be used while driving. C. They can be used while driving as long as you only take half the regular dose. The correct answer is here, B. They often make you sleepy, therefore, they should not be used while driving. Explanation. Some cold and allergy medications can cause drowsiness, sedation, or disturbed coordination, which makes them dangerous for CMV operators. If you are unsure about the effects of a particular medication, check the warning label or ask your pharmacist or doctor. Question number 103. When should you check your mirrors for a lane change? A. Before and after signaling the change. B. After starting and after completing the lane change. C. Both of the above. The correct answer is here, C. Both of the above. Explanation. When changing lanes, check your mirrors at each of the following times. Open bracket. 1. Before you change lanes, to make sure there is enough room. Open bracket. 2. After you have signaled, to check that no one has moved into your blind spot. Open bracket. 3. Right after you start the lane change, to double check that your path is clear. And 4. After you complete the lane change. Question number 104. How can you avoid the effects that wet brakes can cause when you drive through water? A. Gently apply the brakes, increase engine RPM, and cross the water while keeping light pressure on the brakes. B. Slow down and place the transmission in low gear. C. Both of the above answers are correct. The correct answer is here, C. Both of the above answers are correct. Explanation. If you must drive through water, slow down, shift into a low gear, and keep applying the brakes gently to prevent water, mud, or other contaminants from getting into the brakes. Question number 105. What is a vehicle inspection report? A. A report you receive after you have the vehicle serviced. B. A report written by the vehicle owner that notes the condition of the truck and any items that may need to be repaired. C. A signed statement that says you checked the vehicle that day. D. A report written by the driver that notes the condition of the truck and any items that may need to be repaired. The correct answer is here, D. A report written by the driver that notes the condition of the truck and any items that may need to be repaired. Explanation. The vehicle inspection report is a daily log that drivers keep. It includes information regarding the vehicle such as problems and inspections. Question number 106. What is a pull-up? A. Pulling forward while backing a trailer to reposition it. B. A maneuver performed by a tow truck to pick up an overturned truck. C. When pulling off the shoulder, pulling up until the trailer is straight. The correct answer is here, A. Pulling forward while backing a trailer to reposition it. Explanation. When backing a vehicle, especially a tractor-trailer, you may need to pull forward to straighten the vehicle or reposition it for a better angle. This corrective maneuver is called a pull-up. Note, however, that you should be able to back your vehicle successfully without too many such corrections. During your CDL skills test, your examiner may penalize you for too many pull-ups. Question number 108. You are driving on a straight, level highway at 50 miles per hour. There are no vehicles in front of you. Suddenly a tire blows out. What should you do first? A. Begin light braking. B. Begin controlled or stab braking. C. Stay off the brakes until the vehicle slows down on its own. The correct answer is here, C. Stay off the brakes until the vehicle slows down on its own. Explanation. If a tire blows out, don't brake. Braking could cause you to lose control. Instead, let your vehicle slow itself down, then brake very gently and pull over. Question number 110. When should you downshift an automatic transmission? A. When going up grades. B. When going around curves. C. When going down grades. The correct answer is here, C. When going down grades. Explanation. To use engine braking on a downgrade to control the speed of a CMV with an automatic transmission, select a low gear range that prevents the transmission from shifting up beyond the selected gear. Question number 111. Which of these is not caused by rough acceleration? A. Damage to the coupling. B. Mechanical damage. C. Tire damage. The correct answer is here, C. Tire damage. Explanation. The sudden jerk from rough acceleration can cause mechanical damage. For example, it can damage the coupling if you're pulling a trailer. Question number 112. Can federal inspectors inspect your truck or bus? A. Yes, but they will not place it out of service. B. No. C. Yes, and they might place it out of service. The correct answer is here, C. Yes, and they might place it out of service. Explanation. Federal or state inspectors may inspect your vehicle. If they find a problem that makes the vehicle potentially unsafe, they will put the vehicle out of service until the problem is fixed. Question number 113. While driving, you should use your mirrors to check A. If your running lights are working properly. B. Your blind spots only. C. Where the rear of your vehicle is while you make turns. The correct answer is here, C. Where the rear of your vehicle is while you make turns. Explanation. Before driving your vehicle, adjust your mirrors to show parts of your vehicle as well as what's around your vehicle. During your trip, you can use your mirrors to keep an eye on your tires and open cargo if any. When you turn, check your mirrors to make sure that the rear of your vehicle isn't hitting anything. If you're pulling a trailer, use your mirrors to keep an eye on it. If it starts to jackknife, you'll be able to spot it in your mirrors. Question number 114. Letting the air out of hot tires, A. is a good idea because the extra pressure will be relieved. B. will have no effect at all. C. will cool them down. You will be able to continue your trip sooner. D. is a bad idea because when the tires cool off, the pressure will be too low. The correct answer here, D, is a bad idea because when the tires cool off, the pressure will be too low. Explanation. Air pressure increases with temperature. Do not let air out or the pressure will be too low when the tires cool off. Question number 115. How can you avoid wet brake problems? A. Speed up or shift to a higher gear. B. Apply the brakes harder and faster. C. Slow down, shift to a low gear, and gently apply the brakes. The correct answer here, C. Slow down, shift to a low gear, and gently apply the brakes. Explanation. If you must drive through water, slow down, shift into a low gear, and keep applying the brakes gently to prevent water, mud, or other contaminants from getting into the brakes. Question number 116. Which of these is a good thing to do when driving at night? A. Look directly at oncoming headlights only briefly. B. Keep your instrument lights bright. C. Drive slowly enough to stop within the range of your headlights. The correct answer here, C. Drive slowly enough to stop within the range of your headlights. Explanation. In the dark, you have no way of knowing what lies beyond the reach of your headlights. At night, you should slow to a speed that allows you to stop safely within the range of your headlights. Otherwise, if there is a hazard just beyond the range of your headlights, you may not be able to take action in time to avoid it. Question number 117. Covering the brake means A. Pushing the brake lightly and rapidly. B. Pushing on the brake just enough to make the brake lights to come on. C. To have your foot over the brake and ready to push it if necessary. The correct answer here, C. To have your foot over the brake and ready to push it if necessary. Explanation. Covering the brake involves taking your right foot off the accelerator and holding it over the brake pedal. Your foot should hover over the pedal and not rest on it in any way. Question number 118. Where can you find the tire's load rating? A. In the packaging you received with the tire. B. On the tire manufacturer's website. C. Inside each tire. D. On the side of each tire. The correct answer here, D. On the side of each tire. Explanation. The tire load is the maximum safe weight that a tire can carry for a specific pressure. This rating can be found on the side of each tire. Question number 119. You are driving a 40-foot vehicle at 35 miles per hour. The road is dry and visibility is good. What is the least amount of space you should keep in front of your vehicle to be safe? A. 6 seconds. B. 4 seconds. C. 2 seconds. The correct answer here, B. 4 seconds. Explanation. The formula for following distance is 1 second per 10 feet of vehicle, plus an extra second if you are traveling over 40 miles per hour. Therefore, for a 40-foot vehicle traveling at 35 miles per hour, you should leave a following distance of 4 seconds. Question number 120. In the event of a fire that occurs while you are transporting goods, what would be the first thing you would do? A. Keep the fire from spreading. B. Call for help. C. Extinguish the fire. D. Pull off the road. The correct answer is here. D. Pull off the road. Explanation. In the event of a fire, you should try and pull off of the road in an open area, not near any vehicles, trees, vegetation, and definitely not at a service station. You would then call the police or other authorities to alert them of your problem, keep the fire from spreading, and extinguish the fire. Question number 121. You should check the following for looseness, sticking, damage, or improper settings. A. Steering wheel and transmission controls. B. Accelerator, brakes, and clutch pedals. C. Both two. The answers are correct. The correct answer is here. C. Both two. The answers are correct. Explanation. During step 3 of the 7-step inspection method, confirm that the steering wheel, clutch, gas pedal, brakes, transmission, horn, windshield wipers, lights, and turn signals are all in good condition and neither sticking nor too loose. There are other actions you must perform in this step as well. Question number 122. The amount of liquid to load into a tank depends on A. The amount the liquid will expand in transit. B. The weight of the liquid. C. Legal weight limits. D. All answers are correct. The correct answer is here. D. All answers are correct. Explanation. How much liquid you can load into a tank depends on the following. Open bracket. 1. Heat makes liquid expand, so you must allow enough room at the top of the tank for outage. Open bracket. 2. A dense liquid may weigh so much that loading too much liquid into the tank may cause your vehicle to exceed state weight limits. Question number 123. Which fires can you use water to put out? A. Gasoline fires. B. Electrical fires. C. Tire fires. The correct answer is here. C. Tire fires. Explanation. Water can be used on wood, paper, or cloth, but don't use water on an electrical fire or a gasoline fire. A burning tire must be cooled. Lots of water may be required. Question number 124. Which of the following is not a true statement regarding covered cargo? A. You should check that you don't exceed gross and axle weight limits. B. In many states, spill protection for covered cargo is a requirement. C. You should cover cargo to protect it from the weather. D. You should regularly inspect the contents of sealed loads. The correct answer is here. D. You should regularly inspect the contents of sealed loads. Explanation. You should cover cargo to avoid harming people from spills and to protect the actual cargo from the weather. You should also check that you don't exceed gross and axle weight limits. You should not actually inspect the insides of sealed loads. Question number 125. Which of these is good to do when steering to avoid a crash? A. Apply the brakes while turning. B. Steer with one hand so that you can turn the wheel more quickly. C. Do not turn any more than needed to clear what is in your way. The correct answer here, C. Do not turn any more than needed to clear what is in your way. Explanation. To avoid a crash or other hazard, keep both hands on the steering wheel so you can turn as quickly as possible. However, turn just enough to avoid the hazard. A too sharp turn risks a skid or rollover. While turning quickly, avoid braking. This too could cause a skid. Question number 126. Stab braking should not be used on vehicles with A. Air brakes, B. Spring brakes, C. Anti-lock brakes. The correct answer here, C. Anti-lock brakes. Explanation. In stab braking, you deliberately keep locking and unlocking the wheels. Hence, stab braking should not be used on a vehicle with anti-lock brakes. Use controlled braking instead.